Hey guys, this is Eugene, and today I'm not gonna talk about those guys on the left that are buying like hell those toilet paper blocks, but about things that is also going like crazy. It happened to be that I accidentally found out from a few friends of mine that they are waiting for a huge period of time to open their first account at the local brokers. And I decided to check this information if it's just specifically one broker or it happens all over the world. And I was super surprised. It seems that during this Q1 and April and May, people were going crazy and they were opening accounts like those guys on the left buying the toilet paper. Further in this video, I will explain to you why you have to be very careful and what you need to care about in order not to lose your money. So, there is an extremely well known rule on the market which is 90-99, and I want you to encourage not to be part of that day traders club. So the rule is 90% of new traders lose 90% of their capital in 90 days. I would say that here is a small correction. Why? Because this is linked maybe not to the shares, but specifically to the options traders, because there the leverage and the instruments are much more aggressive, and this is usually happening in America. I know in Europe it's prohibited to do some specific things like CFDs and so on and so on. So maybe it's not 90% of your capital, but for sure 90% of new traders lose in 90 days. Here it's a question mark how much. And I'm pretty sure if you're part of those guys that have just created their account or basically newbies on the market, you don't want to have lose at all, right? You want to actually profit from something. But before doing that, please make sure that it makes sense and you understand what you're doing. Otherwise, your chances are very high to become part of this day traders club. So what I found out is that on a very well-known resources, online brokers all over the world, they see a huge activity. Uh, it thanks to the volatile markets, as I explained, the crisis means that it's very cheap, maybe it's a point to buy. And of course, nearly zero trading fees all over the world. This is another beautiful moment, like you are not risking anything, which is not completely true. But anyway, so you see the statistics about America. So comparing Q1 2020 with 2019, you see a huge difference. It's almost twice more than what we had 1 year ago. And it's for the other brokers as well. I don't have statistics for Robinhood, but I'm pretty much sure it's going to be exactly the same. Then, exactly the same situation in India. You see that the lockdown means more than 1 million new stock traders. And I guarantee you, it's not the stock traders that are buying with the professional knowledge. It's a really, really new guys. With this European company, I will go a bit more into details because I found much more interesting information. So, of course, like the others, they see a huge increase and even more. You see that if you read on the Reddit, that waiting time for the Degiro accounts is growing and growing and growing. And I found a couple of friends. So I mentioned in the beginning that a person I know was trying to get the account, and they basically see this. So in Spain, they have a queue of 20,000 people that are still waiting right now in the end of May. It's 31st of May today, to get their account. In the international account, it's the queue is much less, but still it's 6,000 people that are still waiting. So it means that right now there is still a huge demand for people to join the platform to start their first trades. What is more interesting, the moment these guys are joining the platform, so if you have joined this platform maybe in February or in May this year, actually it's very interesting what they are doing. So, of course, this is a platform with a majority of the retail traders that are not really familiar with fundamental technical analysis and basically they don't have a strategy. And the moment these guys get to their account, the first thing they do, they basically start to buy stocks. Which stocks? Let's have a look. In March, Tesla, 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 Tesla. In April, Tesla, 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 Tesla. This is not Tesla, but whatever. Of course, you see some local companies as well that are specific to each country, like Wirecards in Germany and maybe Total in France. These are the companies that are specific, and people just know those companies, that these are the big local ones, and then they put their money there. I really hope that all those people have made their analysis and they took conscious decision based on the technical or fundamental analysis why they've done that. But something tells me that with these statistics that we see right now with Degiro and with what other people are doing in America, in India, in Asia, in other parts of the world, they are actually doing exactly the same. And 90% of those people, unfortunately, will fail based on the statistics. For those people that are in the waiting list, those 20K that I showed previously for Spain, most probably they will actually do the same. At some given point in time, they will just basically buy Tesla. And taking that into account, there are two messages. Message number one is good, and message number two is bad. The good message is that in the short term, Tesla most probably is going to grow because the money that people will inject into this company with these expectations that they have to make money is going to grow. That's how the market operates. There is no real magic behind it. And the bad message is that when 90 days or 80 days or 60 days, I don't have the exact data, what will happen? They will basically fail. There will not be a lot of people who would start to join the buying cycle because of that logic, and then we will not have new money on the market, and unless that money will not come, the Tesla or the other stocks are there that are there hyped by this situation will basically go down. Now let me explain to you what this delay means and why it is happening. So let's start from the fact that the crisis happened over here, right? It was 23rd of March. No, it actually started a bit earlier, but the dip was then. So maybe at this point in time, somebody have decided, oh, we are in a crisis. I should actually profit from that. And then basically they opened the account, right? So let's say it's the whatever minority, the early minority. Then they started to profit. Then, of course, they triggered the second group, which is over here, then maybe a third group over here, and then and so on and so on and so on. And then you have the group number 6. So each next group like this is basically making a profit for the previous group. So if you were lucky and you have made this wild guess and you have opened the account in the beginning or you had the account and you've bought that Tesla or any other stock, then actually this later majority of people who is joining the market today are basically giving you the profit. I will later show you how it looks like on the chart. And for everybody who is there, the initial delay is like you see with those 6 points there, right? So first you realize that you want to join because of the crisis or because of the friend that have made some profit and you want to follow him. Then you know that you can open the account. Then you know that you need to wait for the account, just like those guys that have sent me the picture a few slides back. Then you need to transfer money, and then only you buy stock. So even from the decision, from the moment you decided that you're going to do that, you still have these delays. And I don't know if it's going to be 90 days. So I said it's 90, 90, 90 in the beginning. It's a statistical rule, right? So maybe it's going to be 120 days. So maybe we still have a couple of months to get there. Or maybe it's already started in February. So I don't know how this Gauss curve specifically working in this circumstances. We will see it maybe in a year when we have all the statistics. Here we're coming to the interesting part of the Tesla. So as you remember with the statistics from Degiro, and I'm pretty sure all over the world, exactly the same information, people usually behave the same. They try to find international companies that are very well known. You hear all these things from Musk launching people and so on. So, and of course they are buying that. So you see that the crisis, the dip of the crisis was here. So if you were lucky and you have taken the decision to open the account or invest in Tesla in this specific moment, because we reached this kind of a price. Great, right? But then that's the point where the story starts. You remember the Gauss curve that I showed you previously? Of course, I don't know if it's this specific Gauss curve or it's actually a bit more wider, something like that. We don't know. I will see it, or you will be able to see it in a couple of months. But the principle is clear, right? So the moment it happened, it triggered people to open the accounts, which for 2 months kept the price going up. Right now, for around months, we are actually in a flattish zone. So we formed some sort of the support of 12 and 10, which is quite firm support. It's a relative one comparing to what the company have made during 6 months over here. And yeah, looking on that, with the newcomers that are coming, I could say, yeah, we can actually reach that point, right? And some of the traders will play on that. Maybe I will actually join them in that kind of part. However, what is interesting, you need to remember all the risks and profits that you potentially could make. So here, in order to do the right thing, you need to make that analysis. Majority of those people that are joining, they ain't gonna do it. Maybe thanks to them, the price will actually be elevated up to here or even above the chart. But then the moment those guys will stop buying Tesla, because nobody would want to benefit from this crisis anymore, or they would realize that the momentum is gone, then the price, because of new buyers are not there, are gonna be significantly going down. Down to this level, down to this level, this level. I don't know, the history will show, but this is for me inevitable. Buying and selling stocks is a very interesting subject, and for me, it's a lifetime hobby. So I want to continue doing that. So please share your comments and ideas with me, and let's talk about it.